Hey everybody, you're watching Call the Cornstar, and welcome to Cornstar Construction, and welcome to Cornstar Farms. And big thank you to Ridge for sponsoring this video. For today's adventure, we are going to be focusing on two things. Thing number one is corn harvest. We are currently in the middle of our busiest season of the year, which is harvest season, and we are about 45% done with corn harvest, so we want to try to get 55% done with corn harvest today. So our goal is to combine $100,000 worth of corn, get it loaded up into the trucks, and get it brought back here to the farm. And thing number two is outside in the underground movie theater, we need to figure out some sort of form system where we can make the top of this side of the footing equal to the top of this side of the footing. And then we need to do that all the way around on all of these footings. So to say that today is an easy day is an understatement, but it is definitely not an impossible statement. So as I like to say, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's get to work. The farm that we are going to be working on today is Mary Lou's, and it's about 20 minutes from home. So they already have two semis out in the field. They got the combine all fueled up, greased up, ready to rock and roll. The tractors are ready to all rock and roll. They're just waiting for me. Today, every semi that we fill is going to be $4,000 worth of corn. Every grain cart full that is in the John Deere, that's about $2,000 worth of corn. And then the other grain cart that's on the other side of the field, when that's full, that's about $6,000 worth of corn. I think we're getting into this cornfield at just about the perfect time. See how we have some of these tops snapped off right here? Well, if we grab the stalk and we push on it a little bit, we can kind of test the integrity of the stalk. If we push on it and it snaps, then that means we are basically looking at some stalks getting ready to fall over, which these, surprisingly enough, even though the top's gone, I figured the bottom would be a little bit weaker. So maybe we have a little bit of time on this yet, so not super dire need to come in here and harvest, but we're at 15% moisture, which is perfect, so we don't have to dry it. Everything's brown, got some nice big ears, the husks are opening up, so it is time. I was a little slow getting to the field this morning, so Cooper got everything started and kind of got things opened up, but I'm now switching him, so I'm gonna be running combine. Cooper is going to be running a semi, my dad's going to be running a semi, Zach's in the big grain cart, and then Ricardo is in the little grain cart.
Now everything that we need to get started on our forms. The only thing we don't have is the experience, and by saying experience, that neither Cole or neither do I ever done this job where you have to form some kind of form using whatever method, and both of our methods are not confirmed, so we're just speculating what would work better. So we have two possibilities. One possibility is actually having our board right here, and concrete would come right to here, which would be wasted concrete around here. And another possibility is going right on the edge. The only differences in two methods would be attachment of this board, where if we go with board like this, we would use these little stakes. Let me pull one out. To go on the edge of the hole that would hold it upside, and then drive another stake diagonal to hold it from moving around. So for now, what we're gonna try, I don't want to use 2x6 because to accommodate the 2x6 being here, we need to shave a bunch of dirt, or some places less, some places more. So what I'm gonna try to do is to see if we can use 2x4 board instead of 2x6, so we don't have to do shaving at all or not as much shaving. So if we can do this, we're gonna do it the way Cole was thinking. If we end up shaving too much dirt, wasting too much time, we're gonna go this way with installing 2x6 board inside the hole like that. And to get started, we need to make sure our laser is set to the elevation of the top of our footer, and we'll go around and see what we're dealing with as far as how much we need to shave to get the board in the right spot. So I think we're done with that station that served us for about 2 weeks. We didn't move it, so we didn't have to readjust anything. Now we're gonna move that laser down here somewhere where we are very unlikely to bump it. I already established our grade. That's where we have a solid beep on the receiver. That means it is perfectly where it has to be. So we can move the laser and then readjust our new grade according to this elevation. So since we have our grade established here in this spot, what we'll have to do, at least in my mind, I hope it's gonna work. We'll see. We need to move the laser, move the receiver until it beeps. Make sure it's plumb. There is a little bubble right here. And now, since we know that our footer has to be 18 inches tall, it means we can just simply take the receiver from our laser plane and bring it down on the rod 18 inches. So that means when it has a beep, it will be 18 inches high from our grade right here. I know I'm not the greatest at explaining, but I hope it makes sense.
Absolutely a beautiful day up here in the combine. We are in some really nice looking corn. This is super healthy looking stuff, and the yield monitor is definitely reflecting it. Now, we are in a little bit of a high pocket. You'll see it jump way up. I believe it's averaging 228 bushels per acre. But in the particular spot that we were just in right there, I just saw it bump up over 300 for a couple seconds. And now it's down to 253, which is still absolutely phenomenal. Our 10-year average for the farm is 196 bushels per acre. And so being in stuff that is 250 or even averaging 228, absolutely phenomenal. Today is one of those days, if I had a lunchbox with me, I would have burned through my lunch by 10 o'clock. I'm hungry for whatever reason this morning. It's a little bit hard to tell on camera, but we're on a pretty good little side hill through this section of the farm. And in this high yielding corn, we definitely have to slow down the machine. So I'm doing about 2.5 miles an hour right now, because when we get on these nice side hills, all of the grain comes through the machine, and then it wants to go to one side of the separating table, and then it stacks up and it can't go through the separating table fast enough, so it gets kicked out the back of the combine. So the only way to really alleviate that is to slow down. If we were in nice flat conditions right now, I could probably do about 4 miles per hour. But since we're on the hills, slowing it back, it's going to slow down our productivity a little bit, but we don't really care about productivity as much as keeping the grain in the grain tank, so that way we can put it in the bins and then actually be able to sell it, because there's no records for how many acres you get done in a day, but you can't take money to the bank and do things with that. So That's really what we care about here, not how many acres we can get done per day. If I'm not mistaken, Zach going over to Phil right now will mark our 4th semi for the day. So $16,000 of corn has been harvested so far. The lunch that I would have liked to have eaten 2 hours ago is now here. I completely have lost track of how many loads have came in and out. They're keeping track in the dryer shack, so we will be able to know at the end of the day. But things are going good. Right now the field's averaging 232, which is phenomenal. Field meal today, look at this. We got spoiled by Jamie and Nate. Nate's bending down right now. Nate, stand up. We got some chick-a-filet. We just got done with lunch. Nate is going to ride with me around in the field for a little bit. We're harvesting some of his corn right now. And then, oh yes, we need to get one of the Devastators put back on underneath the corn head. We had a couple U-bolts break, so we're gonna do that first, and then we'll keep going back and forth. I need a bigger cab, Nate.
The green one.
Nate just left a little bit ago, and we were having a pretty good farm talk conversation. Farm talk conversation is short for you talk for 2 hours, and it feels like you're talking for 5 minutes because it's fun to talk about, or at least it's fun for farmers to talk about. But now that he is gone, my belly is still full. We have this nice, beautiful little yellow soft light coming in here, and the air conditioning is just at that perfect temperature. We're going 3.2 miles an hour, and the hum of the machine, it's all tying together to make me sleepy. I'm trying to stretch my legs as much as I can, but I might have to get out here for a little bit, walk around, get some blood flowing so I don't fall asleep.
So we have a new helpers for today, and now I don't have any doubts that we're gonna finish the forms today. Welcome Enea and Kaya, my daughters, and there's my wife in the background with my son. They're ready to work. They're already filming.
I'm gonna get out for a minute here, see how the combine's performing down here. We're getting into a different part of the field, still the same hybrid of corn, but just different landscape through here, so just making sure nothing changed. We see a kernel of corn right there. What else do we got? Ooh. Where's that coming from? Corn, 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 corn. Go to a different spot. We're right in the middle of the machine. We tend to get just a little bit more header loss right in the middle, so it's not the most accurate representation of what's coming out the back. With corn being super dry like it is, there's only so much that I can do for header loss. You're just going to have some. So about the only things that I can actually manipulate is what comes through the back of the machine. So that's why I'm putting a little bit more focus with what's on the side instead of what's right in the middle of the combine. Which this area right here looks much, much better. Got a kernel of corn right there, and then we got a kernel of corn right there, but nothing through here. So that's what we like to see. My personal threshold is less than 2 kernels of corn on the ground per square foot. If we have more than that, then we need to start changing some stuff because that's too much corn on the ground. Another thing I'm keeping a close eye on is these cobs that are coming through the machine. We want to see them fairly whole like this, and we don't want to have any kernels of corn on them. If they are all a bunch of really small pieces, like this, then we need to open things up a little bit. Ideally, we want them basically all to look like this. This is just a whole cob. And then we want to make sure there are no kernels of corn on here, because you can leave a lot of yield if you got a couple kernels still stuck to these things. Pause from the project for just a second. If you don't know what you want for Christmas, raise your hand. If you still have your hand in the air, I would highly recommend checking out these Ridge wallets. Would you guess that I have not one wallet in this pocket, but I actually have two. Actually, I have three. Guys, the days of carrying around a billfold this thick are over. Pick up one of these bad boys. Cash goes in the back, cards go in the middle. This will hold 12 of them. This is 3 of the designs, but they have over 50. They're also RFID protected, they have a lifetime warranty, and they have a 99-day love it or return it, no questions asked policy. Check out the link in the description, get 10% off, and put one on your Christmas list. Right behind the mirror on the combine, on the side of the grain cart, we have that little digital readout that is tied to the scale that is also in the cab where Zach can view it. That is super handy, because once I get to about 56,000 pounds, which is 1,000 bushels of corn, then I can just start shutting things down, and then Zach can just go dump the entire cart. It fills the semi perfectly. We are perfect on weight for the semi, and then we don't have to worry about being overloaded. So I really like having that scale there. I just pulled into a different hybrid of corn, so going from hybrid to hybrid, sometimes your settings change. So I'm just gonna get out here, double check everything. We're gonna look at our tank first, see what kind of job we got going on up here. We look a little bit more cobby than what we were before. Let's see what we got for some cracked grain. Ugh. That looks pretty good. Oh, it's really good actually. See what we got down here going on in the ground. See a kernel of corn right there. Ooh, wow. Look at that cob, geez. Okay, got a little patch of corn right here. Now it's very possible that we just got some butt shelling off the corn head and it splattered, and that's where we're at. So we're gonna check a couple different sample spots. One thing I like to do is just walk along the edge of the corn that's not harvested, and then I see if there's any kernels of corn that got flung out into this first row. Since we don't have to dig through all the trash like we do over here, it just makes it a little bit easier to see. So like right there you can see a kernel of corn that got kicked out of the combine right there. Well, got 2 right there, and there's 1 right there, there's 1 right there. That's probably about our maximum amount on the ground level of acceptance right here, but I don't think there's a lot that I can do. We're in corn that's like 13% moisture, so I think we're just getting some head loss. Look at the size of these ears. Holy cow. Things are monsters. Whale, whale, whale. Look what we have here. A corn cob that went through and still has some kernels on it. Okay, we need to tighten our concave down a little bit. Ricardo, where you at? We're getting full. Oh, there we are. Lugga, 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 lugga. Here we go. Going downhill and it's dry and fluffy, it's wanting to kind of catch up there in the middle, so Zach is being extremely helpful right now, getting that off. This is the first time that we've actually had to go out and manually remove it. We've been getting some buildup, but usually you can stop, lift your head up in the air, and it will eventually pull itself in. But it must be on just a steep enough hill, or maybe the dew's setting in just enough where it's just kind of starting to get a little sticky up on the head. But we're gonna try to do this again here. There, you can see it's starting to build up a little bit right there. That just got pushed through. Kind of does that, it plays with you a little bit, so you definitely have to keep a careful eye out. Did it again. Let's see if we can get it to pull itself in, or oh, got movement. That's a good sign. Come on. Just try trying to push on it a little bit with some corn. Here we go, we got the middle cleared out now. Yes, now we just gotta get that one. We have to get that out of there, otherwise it just pushes the corn over and it doesn't go in the row. We just basically trample it down. I don't think that one's coming out. Got Zach to the rescue again over there. There's about 15 acres or so here that's on a pretty steep hill, and it only does it to me when we're going downhill, which is a good thing, but we probably got 4 acres left and it's the steepest part of the hill, so we may be fighting this for just a little while longer, but luckily it's a triangle and we're getting to where the rows are starting to get shorter and shorter. It is, what time is it? 9:46 right now. We ended up getting pretty much all of the south side over here done. If I can scroll out. All of this is now completely done. So we just have this little triangle right here left over the CRP. I believe there's 22 or something like that acres over there. And then this L-shaped field that is the north side. So that's all we have left over here at Mary Lou's. It is averaging 235 bushels per acre, and we did 83 acres today. So that means we combined 19,505 bushels times $4, $78,020 worth of corn. Trying to plan a bit for the next couple days, so we're just getting everything topped off with fuel tonight, so that way we can bring fuel trailer home. We have 100 acres left over here, and then there's another 75 acres down the road. So if we get everything topped off here tonight, we should have enough fuel and everything to get here done and the next field. And then when we come back in the morning, it's just one less vehicle that we end up having to bring out here. We basically just have to come out with semis, and then we have everything that we need. So that just makes it easier transferring from field to field. Then when you get done at the end of the day, we're not running 30 minutes back over here just to get a truck. Good morning, Silver Freightliner. Since we did not hit our goal yesterday, we are going to try to do the exact same thing again today, and we're going to add another goal on top of it. There is 100 acres left over at Mary Lou's, and we are going to try to get all of that done. I'm just heading over to the farm right now. I need to take a semi out to the field. They already got the other 2 semis out at the field. Well, everybody is already out at the field. They are just waiting for me to get there, and it looks like they must have put some diesel in it. So I'm going to be taking the Silver Freightliner this morning. Over here at Mary Lou's, we got the 140 acres over here on the backside of this hill done. There is about 25 over there on the CRP chunk on that bigger hillside. So Cooper's gonna run the combine for that 25 acres, and once he gets done with that, then I'm gonna switch him, and then I'm gonna do the north side of the road. So I guess in the meantime, I'm gonna be on semi duty, and since we don't have a semi full yet, I'm gonna ride around with that.
Feel like you get that extra.
Now, this is some really nice looking corn over here. We're in some Champion 61A22 right now. Absolutely nice, tall, healthy looking plant, big ears. Oh yeah, we're nice and full here in the front hopper. And look at those kernels, those things are huge. This is our second load for the day, so we have dumped $8,000 worth of corn so far. Looks like we are just now running empty. I don't know what we got going on with this front trap on the semi, but there must be a bearing or something going out in there. Something is tensioning. I should be able to basically open that with one hand pretty easy, but it's really hard to open with 2. That's not good. Our little uh-oh right here is right over our back axle. It actually supplies air to, oh, that's for our airbags. Okay, that's why we've been riding super bumpy. We're basically, when we sit, we run out of air, or it gets us right to our threshold limit of where it wants to kick on the emergency stops. So, good news is, we have another Freightliner in the shop for spare here, so I'm just gonna dump this trailer, we're gonna pull this truck off, we're gonna put the other Freightliner on, we'll pull this one back in the shop, and then it's a pretty simple fix, just it's a lot faster right now just to hook up the spare truck and to run into town, get the parts, get this pulled apart, get everything all lined up, put back together, put on. So we'll save that for a rainy day. This is the semi that we call Elmer. Elmer was originally on the black trailer that the white Volvo was on, but we had a radiator line leaking on it, so we ended up doing the switcherooski with the white Volvo. And so they got this new radiator line put on here, got some more antifreeze put back in it. We should be all good to go here. So same thing, it was just a minor item, but it was faster to switch out the truck so that way we could keep running than to actually address the problem. So we saved this for an afternoon, got this one done. Good thing we did, because we're needing it right now. I wonder if I have a grease gun. It's got some grease on it, but it definitely could use more. All right, let's see if we did this right. We're rolling. Okay. Good to go. Perfect. I have a feeling that on the north side of the road here, we are going to have an extremely hard time keeping up. Zach is plumb full, and Ricardo is dumping on the semi right now. Cooper's dumping on him. So when Ricardo's done, Zach's probably not even going to be half empty by the time he gets done filling that other semi. Your dad's not back yet, so that broken airline really threw a little wrench in our system. Looking on Xfinity, I would say there is nothing to complain with these yields. Wow. Just look how slick that is. Absolutely incredible. Field meal today. Neva and her mom made us taco bowls, so we got, what is that, beef in there, we got some lettuce, we got pico de gallo, sour cream, some taco sauce, probably something else that I'm missing, but it looks very good. This may sound a little weird, but when we're running the combine all day, we all kind of have different positions that we put our body in, and the way my brother holds onto the steering wheel, it must put some sort of strain on this muscle in his back, because he runs for about half a day, then his back really starts to hurt him. So the way we've been kind of running harvest this year is Cooper runs combine in the morning, and then once his back starts to hurt, then I switch with him and then run the combine, and then he runs the semi. So now we're doing the switcheroo. Now, the area that used to get me was right at the back of my neck. And it's because I would like hold my shoulder up on the steering wheel. But I have discovered that if I have an armrest, then I can just rest my arm on there and steer from the armrest, and then I don't get any pain. So fortunately, this has an armrest. So I enjoy combining, so it works out well. Works out very well. About 600 acres into corn harvest and completely done with soybean harvest. This is the first time that we have had a full grain tank. So we're 100% full. You can look up in there, full. And we did not have a grain cart here. So we've been doing pretty good. We're just far enough from home right now with the two drivers. They're struggling to keep up on this really high yielding corn on these super long rows. But I guess while we're sitting here waiting, let's take a look. We got some cob tips in the tank. Been trying to make some adjustments, but at the end of the day, there's only about so much I can do, especially due to the fact that we are in high yielding corn. You either open things up and maybe let a couple of these fall in, or you close things down, then you have to basically slow the machine down to a crawl, so that way you're not kicking all this corn out of the back side of the machine. So I guess if we're not getting docked by having those little cob tips in there, we're not running it through the dryer, so it's not like we're needing to dry it down. I think we're just gonna have a slightly dirty sample. We're currently unloading about $16 worth of corn per second. So it may look like a fairly small stream, but that thing's moving some grain fast. We have officially just passed over the halfway point of this field, so there's 35 acres now left here, so that's all we've got done. So we just got a nice big rectangle left. And we also picked up a little rider down there. And then a still little, but a little bit bigger rider over here.
Thanks, Cole.
After a couple hours of riding around, we have now lost our help, but we are still cruising along. There's about 10 acres left over here. So we're on the really nice flatter part of the field, so we should be able to buzz through this pretty quick. It is yielding 220 right where we're at. I think we're in maybe a little bit of a wet pocket right here. I've been seeing a lot of 240s in this area. I believe the whole field is averaging 235. So we're in a little low yielding pocket. So the low yielding pocket's doing 220. We are doing wonderful. Yes, there we go. This is a champion seed. This is 60 beat 23. A little bumpy in here, but 240s. That is awesome. Nice, really tall corn plant. Not a lot of trash on it. It's just clean going into the head. What we like to see. Our average just keeps working its way up, 236. We just got this little baby part right here left, and then that little sliver. And this dump that we are about to do right here signifies our final dump here at Mary Lou's. We combined 19,539 bushels over here, plus what we did, if I can get it to do it, over here this morning as well. So we got this done, we got that done. We hit our 100-acre goal, and I would have to look at the semi-sheets, but we either got 24 or 25 loads in. So if we got 25 loads, that means we hit our $100,000. When I say that we combined $100,000 worth of corn today, that $100,000 is not all profit. So take this farm here, for example, it was 82.9 acres. Let's say it cost us $1,000 an acre to actually raise our corn, and let's just round that up to 20,000 bushels for easy math. If it costs us $1,000 an acre and we have 83 acres, it costs $83,000 to plant this farm into our corn crop. If we combine 20,000 bushels of corn times $4, that's $80,000. That means we lost $3,000. Now, I don't know the exact numbers on this farm. I'm just rule of thumbing it right there, but we did not combine $100,000 worth of profit in corn today. That was just total revenue, but we still have to take expenses out of that. Hey, looking at our load sheets, we got 23 loads right here. Number 24 is sitting on top of the pit right now. That is full. And then number 25 is in the field. And then there's actually another half load out there, so 25 and a half. We hit our goals today, so super stinking awesome, but I am so tired. I'm finishing up some stuff here in the shop office, and then I'm going to call it a night. So thank you so much for watching. We're gonna call it right here. We'll see you in the next one.